Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to introduce our topic, dating after 60. What do single men truly want? Today, we'll explore a subject that resonates with many women over 60 who are re-entering the dating world. We'll look at the challenges, the changing dynamics, and what men are really seeking in this stage of life. We'll also hear from Margaret Manning of 60 and Me and dating coach Lisa Copeland, who will share insights into what single men over 60 truly want from a woman. So, stay with us as we uncover some surprising truths about love, connection, and companionship later in life. Today, I want to talk about embracing authentic femininity and what that really means in the context of relationships. According to Copeland, the modern mature man isn't looking for perfection, youth, or even competition. Instead, what he truly craves is a woman who is comfortable in her feminine presence. What does that look like? It's about allowing him to step into his natural masculine role without feeling criticized, managed, or directed. In simple terms, he wants to feel like a man when he's with you. And it's important to understand, this isn't about old-fashioned ideas or wanting to dominate. It's about something deeper. Masculine identity, especially later in life, is closely tied to feeling useful, valued, and appreciated. So, when a woman softens into her natural feminine energy, embracing warmth, collaboration, appreciation, and curiosity, it sends a powerful signal. It shows that she sees him not as a competitor, but as a partner. This balance of energies, this mutual recognition, helps foster a healthy, fulfilling connection. And it ties directly into our overall theme of authentic femininity and genuine relationship dynamics. Criticism is often an invisible barrier that can silently damage a relationship. Many women in their 50s and 60s grew up during a time of significant cultural change, one that emphasized strength, independence, and a competitive spirit to succeed in the workplace. Over time, this led many of us to become what we call superwomen, people who can do everything, but often at the expense of feeling exhausted and unintentionally undervaluing men's contributions. Now, what's important to understand here is how women tend to criticize without even realizing it. Instead of encouraging, we sometimes focus on what could be better, based on our own standards of how things should be done. And if a man doesn't meet those standards, we might correct him or respond with half-hearted thanks. But here, the key, men interpret criticism very differently. They often see it as a sign of inadequacy, something that makes them feel judged. And when men feel judged or criticized, they tend to withdraw emotionally. It's not about rejecting us, it's about protecting their sense of self. What men really want isn't perfection. What they crave is appreciation, recognition for what they do and what they bring to the relationship. So, understanding these differences can help us communicate better and foster stronger, more supportive connections. Femininity was never the enemy, exhaustion was. The feminist movement opened doors that women richly deserved: access to education, financial independence, and equality in the workplace. But of course, with those opportunities came unintended consequences. Women were now expected to be everything: strong and soft, independent and nurturing, assertive and accommodating. Many women found themselves burning out trying to excel in masculine environments while still maintaining those traditional feminine expectations at home. It became almost impossible to switch seamlessly between career mode and relationship mode. As Copeland explains, we became superwomen, and men started saying, "You're emasculating me, you're controlling, you're not my boss." What's important to understand is that women didn't become masculine, they became survivalists. They adapted to the pressures and expectations placed on them. Now, in their 60s, many women are learning how to rebalance their lives, not regress into old patterns. It's about finding that harmony, not going back to what they were before. This connects to our overall theme, understanding the complex journey women have taken and supporting them as they find their new balance. On this slide, I want to talk about what I call the secret skill, asking men the right way. This might be the most practical and truly transformational lesson of all. Women often ask men the same way they ask women. "Can you help me move this table?" To us, that sounds like cooperation, right? But to a man, it can come across as a demand or even a command, something his mother might have said. What Copeland teaches is a simple but powerful shift in how we ask. Instead of saying, "Can you help me?" try saying, "I need your help," or "Could you do me a favor?" These small changes do three important things all at once. First, they make a man feel needed, appreciated for his strength. Second, they invite his masculine energy because they respect his ability to step in. And third, they help strengthen your connection instead of triggering defensiveness or resistance. And I want to emphasize, this isn't manipulation. It's emotional intelligence, understanding male wiring and learning to speak in a way that builds partnership rather than creating barriers. When we communicate like this, it opens up a whole new level of understanding and cooperation. Let's talk about why older men sometimes choose to date younger women. This can be a tricky topic for many older women to hear, but it can also be quite freeing when you understand the real reasons behind it. Men don't pursue younger women just because they're young. Instead, they are drawn to the feeling of being appreciated. Younger women tend to compliment more, accept help more readily, avoid micromanaging, and show genuine excitement and gratitude. These qualities make them very appealing. Older women can embody these same behaviors, complimenting, accepting help, showing gratitude, and when they do, mature men find them irresistible. Now, when you see a man listing 25-35 as his preferred age range on a dating site, it's often not entirely about age. It's more about an illusion rooted in his own self-perception, because inside, he still feels young. It can also reflect the youth culture he grew up in, and a belief that younger women will be more admiring and less critical. So what's the takeaway here? Copeland's advice is simple. Don't be intimidated by this. Instead, be confident. If you have good photos and a warm, genuine profile, he will definitely take a second look. It's all about projecting confidence and authenticity. You've got this. Men over 60 still want to feel like the hero, but not in a childish or ego-driven way. Instead, it's rooted in a biological and instinctual desire that goes back to our earliest survival coding. It's about protecting, supporting, providing stability, and offering solutions. Women, on the other hand, are biologically wired to nurture, connect, and create emotional safety. And that wiring doesn't fade with age, it actually deepens. Even the strongest, most independent women I coach often say the same thing. I want a man I can lean on. And it's not because they're weak. It's because carrying the weight of strength all the time can become a burden in itself. Today's feminine power isn't about submission. It's about balance. It's about embracing these qualities in a way that enhances relationships and personal growth. So, understanding this natural dynamic helps us see that true strength lies in harmony, not dominance. Now, let's talk about the power of invitation. Many women worry that softening into their femininity means losing their autonomy or strength. But actually, the opposite is true. When we look at what causes us to lose power, it's often demanding, correcting, controlling, challenging, or competing. These behaviors can create barriers to connection and influence. On the other hand, when we choose to invite, ask, appreciate, collaborate, and express our feelings instead of issuing directives, we open ourselves up to greater influence and connection. This shift from control to invitation doesn't weaken us. It amplifies our desirability and presence. Remember, femininity isn't about diminishing your strength. It's about enhancing your ability to connect and influence in a way that feels authentic and powerful. When we embrace this, we truly harness the power of invitation. Let's look at a great example from Copeland that really highlights a new way to communicate with mature men. Instead of asking, "Is it okay if I give my opinion?" which can come across as giving away your power or seeming unsure, try rephrasing it. You can say, "I have some thoughts on that I'd love to share. Would you like to hear them?" This approach is confident but respectful. It invites collaboration rather than putting the other person on the spot or making them feel defensive. Most of the time, when you ask in this way, he'll say yes. And that opens the door for a more connected, less confrontational conversation. This simple shift, from asking for permission to offering your thoughts respectfully, can transform your interactions from being competitive or tense to being more open and collaborative. It's a powerful way to build better connections with mature men, fitting perfectly into the overall theme of creating more effective, respectful communication. And here we are at the final slide, and I want to leave you with the core message. The real goal is to know yourself first. Not every woman over 60 wants a man, and that's perfectly valid. The bigger message I want you to take away is this: know yourself, love your multifaceted identity. Embrace your feminine strengths without losing your independence. Because when you show up as your complete, authentic self, men don't just notice you, they value you, they admire you, and they want to step up for you. And why is that? Because you're allowing them to be who they are, while unapologetically being who you are. Women over 60 are stepping into one of the most empowered, richest chapters of their lives. And the key to meaningful connection isn't about trying to be younger, thinner, or more passive. It's about understanding the emotional needs of mature men and honoring your own. Men want a woman who appreciates them, who communicates with warmth, who allows cooperation instead of competition, who embraces her feminine presence, and who sees them as capable, not flawed. They want to be invited in, rather than demanded. And women, you deserve a man who supports, protects, encourages, listens, respects, and cherishes you. Remember, dating after 60 isn't about going backward. It's about finally getting it right, finding that deep, authentic connection that honors who you are and what you deserve.